Hi friends, this video is for simplification of the concept of significant beneficial ownership under section 90 of the Companies Act 2013. As we know, this is a very technical concept and we have to very sure about this who is significant beneficial owner and what form we have to file, and if we fail to file the form required form, then what are the penalties. Okay, so in this video we are going to simplify the concept of significant beneficial ownership, as there is certain technicalities and hardship faced by various students and professionals in finding solution to this particular topic. So this video is going to be helpful for those who are dealing in companies law and want to know what is the concept of significant beneficial ownership. So let's find out who is significant beneficial ownership. So first thing first, uh, in rule related to significant beneficial ownership, there is a definition of significant beneficial ownership. Okay, mainly significant beneficial ownership concept talk about indirect holding of an individual. Why? Because direct holding is appearable in our annual filing, and MGT 7 we have to report our list of shareholder. Direct holding is visible to the ROC or to the authorities, but indirect holding something which is not on the face of the reporting, and indirectly holding of an individual who is indirectly controlling the company. So our authority want to know who is ultimate owner of the company, who is holding indirectly. Okay, and similarly, if such individual holds indirectly along with direct holding not less than 10%, or we can say about 10% of voting right in the shares of reporting company, then also he or she will be beneficial owner, significant beneficial owner, or has right to receive or participate in not less than 10% of the total distributable dividend or any other distribution in a financial year along indirectly holding alone or together with any direct holding. Okay, has right to exercise or actual exercise significant influence or control in any manner other than through direct holding alone. We will see. Okay, so there are certain explanation in this definition. Okay, so explanation 1 talk about if an individual does not hold any right or entitlement indirectly, he shall not be considered as significant beneficial ownership. So main concept is individual shall hold indirectly, not directly. If individual holds indirectly, then he or she will be considered as SBO, otherwise not. If individual hold directly in the company about 10%, so he or she will be not a significant beneficial ownership. We have to see indirect holding only. Okay, yeah, if he or she hold indirectly to the company 7% and directly 3%, then he will be considered as SBO, but indirectly holding is must. Okay, explanation 1 says that. And explanation 2, for the purpose of this clause, an individual shall consider to hold a right or entitlement directly to the reporting company if he is satisfied with the following criteria. Okay, the share in reporting company representing such right or entitlement are held in the name of the individual. Okay, uh, the individual hold or acquire a beneficial interest in the name of the reporting company under subsection 2 of section 89 and has made a declaration in this regard to the company. Okay, understood. Now the third explanation, which says, for the purpose of this clause, an individual shall be considered to hold right or entitlement indirectly in the reporting company if he satisfy the following criteria in respect to the reporting company. Okay, then what is the criteria? Where the member of the reporting company is body corporate. Okay, now see the diagram, what this explanation is talking about. Okay, we have ABC Limited, and this is reporting company in our terminology. Okay, and in this reporting company there are several shareholders, and some shareholders are body corporate and some are individual. And some are individual. So what percentage they are holding? Body corporate holds 12% and other individual holds 88%. Then in order to find out significant beneficial ownership, we have to see body corporate in our shareholder list. We don't require to see individual shareholding. They are holding directly. As per explanation 1 of the definition, we don't have to see direct holding. This is not required. Only this is required. If a body corporate hold more than 10%, body corporate holding 12%, then we have to see shareholder of that body corporate. If in this body corporate there are shareholder who is individual, let's suppose a individual is there who is holding majority share, let's say 60%, and other individual holds 40%, then that individual is considered as SBO as per explanation 3. Okay, let's find out. In plain reading of the explanation 3 to the definition, what we will see, for the purpose of this clause, an individual shall be considered to hold a right or entitlement indirectly in the reporting company if he satisfy any of the following criteria in respect of a member of the reporting company, namely, where the member of the reporting company is body corporate. Okay, member of the reporting company is body corporate. Okay, understood. Whether incorporated in India or abroad, other than LLP. Okay, and the individual. Okay, hold majority stake in that member. Where the member of the reporting company is body corporate other than LLP, and a individual holds majority stake in that member, hold majority stake in that member, majority stake, hold majority stake in ultimate holding company of that member. If this company have ultimate holding company and this individual is also hold majority stake in that ultimate holding company, then also he or she will be a SBO. Okay, this is one concept. Now other concept is explanation 3, and what is second concept? We have reporting company ABC Limited, and or or list of shareholders, there is HUF. There is HUF. We have ABC Limited, which is reporting company, and in this company there are several shareholders. One of them is HUF and hold more than 10%, let's say 12%, and other is individual or body corporate, anything. Okay, then in that HUF, who is karta? We know in HUF there is karta. Okay, then that karta, who is individual, will be considered as SBO. Okay, then this is second concept for finding out SBO. Now if that reporting company, let's suppose we have ABC Limited reporting company, if in our shareholder list there is a partnership entity, okay, partnership, and hold more than 10%, more than 10%, okay, then in such case an individual who is partner, okay, or hold majority stake in the body corporate which is a partner of the partnership entity, okay, या तो वो इंडिविजुअल पार्टनर है या होल्ड करता है मेजोरिटी स्टेक इन बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट who is partner, okay, or hold majority stake in ultimate holding company of body corporate which is a partner. And if that individual satisfy with the three condition, in any of the condition, he will be considered as SBO in our case, in case of partnership. And in case of trust, if we have reporting company ABC Limited or shareholder is trust and hold 10% or more, then in that trust, who are trustee, in this explanation, trustee, beneficiary of specifier or settler. Trustee and settler will be considered as SBO despite of their contribution or their percentage. Okay, so this is the criteria, this is one criteria. And where member of the reporting company is pool investment vehicle company or entity controlled by pool investment vehicle company based in member state of financial action task force or on money laundering, the regulator of security market in such member state is a member of the International Organization of Security Commission, and the individual in relation to the pooled investment vehicle is a general partner, investment manager, then that individual will be SBO or CEO basically. Okay, so for the purpose of finding out SBO, we have to check explanation 3 given in the definition of significant beneficial ownership. This explanation is the most important, and I hope you understand what is the SBO. Rule 3 talk about declaration of significant beneficial ownership under section 90 on the date of commencement of the Companies Act, Companies Rule. Every individual who is SBO, we have find out who is SBO in a reporting company, shall file a declaration in band 1 to the reporting company within 90 days from the commencement. First point, every individual who subsequently become SBO where his significant beneficial ownership undergoes any change shall file a declaration in band 1. done within 30 days. Okay, then a company received band 1 from a SBO, reporting company. Then reporting company has to file band 2 form uh, in rule 4, return of beneficial significant beneficial ownership. When we receive, suppose we are reporting company and receive band 1 from one of our SBO, significant beneficial owner, then we have to file band 2 form and have to attach band 1 as an attachment to that form, band 2 form. Okay, and upon receipt of declaration band 1, company shall file a return in form band 2 with the registrar in specified of such declaration within a period of 30 days from the date of receipt of such declaration by it along with fees. Okay, then company has to file band 2. So that is the reporting criteria what company have to do upon receipt of declaration under band 1. And if suppose company fail to file that form or fail to comply with the section 90, then if any person willfully furnish any false or incorrect information or suppress any material information of which he is aware in the declaration made under this section shall be liable to section 447. If a company required to maintain registry, file information this as per subsection 4 or required to take necessary step under subsection 4, fail to do so, deny inspection as provided here, company shall be liable to penalty of rupees 1 lakh. Penalty will be on the company 1 lakh in case of for one time failure. In case of continued failure, then this penalty will be 500 rupees per day. After the first, during the such failure continues subject to maximum of 5 lakh rupees. 5 lakh rupees. And officer in default shall be liable to a penalty of 25,000 rupees in case of continued failure, with a further penalty of 200 rupees per day in case of continue 200 rupees per day. Okay, if default continue with a further penalty of 200 rupees per day after the first, during which just failure continue maximum of 1 lakh. Okay, so that is the penalty criteria. I hope you understand the concept of significant beneficial ownership. In case of any doubt or confusion, you may write in the comment below, and I hope this video is going to help you guys. Thank you for your support. Please like, share, subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.